Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Hare Hare.
Good morning all the students and the dear viewers. Today we will discuss about our next chapter of the textbook of biology. And I have already told about you the first chapter, and the title of that chapter was the reproduction in flowering plants. But today we are discussing about the second chapter. Okay, so please our YouTube channel should be share, like and subscribe to motivate us, and you should also giving some comment to us by which we can easily clear doubts of all the students, and as well as we can easily solve all the doubts. Okay, so today we are starting our next chapter, and the chapter is 2. Chapter is 2, and the topic of this chapter and the title of this chapter is development of structure and development of structure and development of male and female gametophyte. Male and female gametophyte. Okay, and this chapter is carrying 2 marks in our board exams in each year. So this chapter is very important because some of the structures are given in this chapter, and the detailed knowledge about how the pollen grains are generally formed and development of male gametophyte is generally formed and female is also. So this chapter is very important. So now start this chapter. We know that when the plants are moving into their reproductive phase, we see that there are the many flowers are start the flowering on the buds of the plant, on the buds of the stem of the plants. So the flowering in any plants is represents that plant is moving into its reproductive phase. Clear? And in the flower, why do we say the flowering is an indicator of the reproductive phase of the plant? Because each flower has some important organs which are known as genetical organs. So the flower is important part of the plant, because by which the plant is undergoes into its reproductive phase. So in the plants there are many structures are found which are given through this diagram. Okay, through this diagram. Now we know that in each flower it consists by some holes Okay, so now this is a typical diagram of a flower. It is a typical diagram of a flower. In the structure of the flower, there are many structures are found in a flower. Now first, a stalk-like structure by which the flower is connected to the branch of the stem, and any nodes of the internodes of the stem, which is called pedicel. Means we can say pedicel is a part of the flower by which the flower is connected to the stem. Okay, and on the above side, the pedicel can be swollen, and due to the swollen, it makes a basal structure. Is called thalamus. It's called thalamus. So thalamus is a basal part of each flower because all the floral parts are shifted on the thalamus. And the first green chlorophyll containing and photosynthetically active structure and first hole of the flower is called calyx. And the second hole, which is more attractive and by which we can easily determine that flower has yellowish color, purple color, red color, pink color. So this is the second hole of the flower, is called corolla. It's called corolla. And the third hole and the third structure is called androecium. And this is the androecium. It indicates male sex organ. Which type of sex organ? Male sex organ in flower. So we can say in the male sex organ, flower has some androecium, and androecium is a cycle of the structure. That structure is called stamen. Means the androecium is a cycle of some structure, and each structure of this cycle is called stamen. So we can say stamen is a unit of androecium. And now the fourth hole is called gynoecium. It's called gynoecium, which indicate female sex organ in flower. Okay, and the one member of the gynoecium is called carpel. So we can say there are the structure are given. Pedicel is a stalk-like structure by which the flower is connected to the branch. Thalamus is a basal structure. Calyx is the first structure. It's photosynthetically leaflet-like structure. Corolla is an attractive hole by which the pollination is carried out with the help of some attraction to the insect due to some different types of color, which is known as corolla. And second part is called androecium, which act as a male reproductive organ. And second and last hole is called gynoecium, which act as a female sex organ in each typical flower. Okay, but in this hole, these holes are basically divided into the two basic parts. Corolla and calyx are known as accessory hole because these holes are helpful to mix the structure and the organization of the given flower, while androecium and the gynoecium are the two holes generally known as reproductive hole. They are known as reproductive hole. Okay, and they are also known as essential hole. Why do we say this is essential hole? Because androecium and the gynoecium act as a reproductive structure. So due to the absence of these structure, the flower will not be fertile, means the flower will be called as sterile. So both of the structure if present in a flower, the flower will lead to the reproductive events, and if these will not be present, the flower will be sterile. So these are known as essential hole also. Okay, now due to the presence of the androecium and the gynoecium, the flowers are of two types. You know also. One is called unisexual flower. And second is called bisexual. Unisexual and bisexual. How can you? Uni means have only one of the sex organ. Means when a flower has only one of the sex organ, means if it has androecium and has gynoecium. Okay, so the flower which has only single reproductive structure, which has only one reproductive structure, are called unisexual. So, for example, in unisexual, all the member of Cucurbitaceae family, which family? Cucurbitaceae. The plants of the Cucurbitaceae family are called as unisexual. Okay, like as you know that pumpkin plants, which plant? Pumpkin plant, and you know that watermelon plant. Okay, so these plants are generally known as unisexual because they have only single reproductive structure. Whereas bisexual means has both of the reproductive structure. Both of the reproductive structure means gynoecium and androecium. Okay, so these flowers are known as bisexual, which has both of the sex organs, male and female. Okay, so like for example in mustard and you know that mustard and all the pulses, okay, and mango, okay, and another species. Okay, so bisexual means both of the have. So on the basis of the sex organs, flowers are of two types, unisexual and bisexual. Now, in this chapter, we will cover all the events. Okay, so now the first topic in this chapter is stamen. Okay, and anther, we can say microsporogenesis, and at last we will cover pollen grain. We will cover about pollen grain, and at last male gametophyte. These are the events will be teach in this lesson. Okay, so now we are going on the first stem. Now stem. We know that okay, this is the stem. This is the stem. Now we know that the third cycle in the flower is called androecium, which is act as a male sex organ, and the the unit of the androecium is called stem. Okay, and now each stamen consists three parts. One is called stalk-like structure, is known as filament. So filament is a structure in stamen by which the stamen is connected to the thalamus, and the upper portion is solemn bag-like structure. Okay, this bag-like structure is called anther. What it is? Anther. And this anther is connected to the filament with a tissue. That tissue is called connective tissue. Which tissue? Connective tissue. Connective tissue. So connective, due to the presence of connective tissue, the anther is divided into the two basically lobes, and each lobe is known as anther lobe. Which lobe? Anther lobe of anther, yeah, anther lobe. Okay, so due to the presence of connective tissue in any stamen, these stamens are of two types. How many types? And stamens are of two types. One is called monothecous, and second is called diothecous. What do you mean by these terms? Monothecous means you can define, mono means only one, a single. So you can easily understanding monothecous means a stamen which consists only, okay, stamen which consists only single single anther lobe. Single anther lobe means a stamen which has only a single anther lobe is known as monothecous. For example, the member of Malvaceae family. The member of Malvaceae family, like you know that, like ladyfinger. Okay, like for example in ladyfinger, in cotton. Okay, cotton plant, and you know also good health. Okay, and the structure like this, that type of structure. You know that this is the anther, and this anther does not have any connective tissue, means any anther lobe. So this is the that type of stamens are generally known as monothecous. While diothecous has how many lobes? Diothecous has 2 lobes. Okay, like in this structure. When the stamen has the 2 lobes, okay, that called is the diothecous, and which are generally forming approximately 80% in angiosperms of the dicot plants. In dicot plants, basically 80% diothecous stamens are generally formed. Now, in the detailed structure of the stamen, now we are going to the internal structure of the anther, because you know that inside the anther we know that reproductive gametes are formed. Okay, so anther is a reproductive structure. Anther is a reproductible structure. So inside this there are many structures are generally formed. So we move to the internal structure of the anther. So now next topic will be covered internal structure of anther. Internal structure of anther. How can we study of the internal structure of anther? Through the transverse section. By making transverse section in anther, we will see. Now, so TS of anther. When we move to the transverse section of the anther, we see that some of the structures are found only in it, like this. Okay. Now this is also a transverse section of anther. You can easily feel when we cut. Now it will mix that type of structure like this. Okay, this is it. So, dear students, when we cut the transverse section of the anther, now we see that there are the 4 cylindrical and the round shaped structures are generally seen inside the internal structure. And these structures are basically known by the different layers and different parts. So these parts are given as a flowchart is here. Now, the development of the anther is eusporangiate. Okay, the development of anther is eusporangiate means this is the anther is developed in initial stage by help of some primordial cells. Primordial cells means they are known as primitive cells. So in the developing of the anther, a primitive cell is going into the regular cell divisions by which the completely anther is formed. So what the cell? The cell is known as archisporial cells. Archisporial cell. This is very primitive cells. It is called primitive cells, means old cell, and this cell is going into the regular cell division, which makes anther in each stem. So this archisporial cell is going into the simple division and form in initial two cells. Is formed in initial two cells. One is called parietal cells. One is called parietal cell, and second is called sporogenous cell. Which cell? The sporogenous cell. Okay. Parietal cell is also known as walls of cell. Wall cell. So in starting, archisporial cell is going into the simple division, form the two cells. One is called parietal, second is sporogenous, in which parietal cell is undergoing into regular cell division and cell differentiation. Regular cell division, due to the regular cell division through the simple division, it makes different layers around the anther, inside the anther, and makes the wall of anther, makes of the wall of microsporangium. Okay, so what types of layers are found in internal structure of the anther? Means in the internal structure of the microsporangium is first layer is known as epidermis will form. Which cell will be formed? Epidermis. Second will be makes endothecium. Second will be made endothecium, and third layer will be middle layers, and third layer will be middle layers, and at last the due to the differentiation and the cell division, the parietal cells form last layer is called tapetum. So we can say due to the regular cell division and cell differentiation, parietal cells form different wall layers of the microsporangium is called epidermis, endothecium, middle layers, and tapetum. While sporogenous cells is formed a primitive primordial cells, a generative primordial cells, and these primordial cells are form a same type of aggregation of the cells, which is called sporogenous tissue. Which tissue? Sporogenous tissue. And each cell of this sporogenous tissue is basically diploid, are called as microspore mother cell. Microspore mother cell, which are generally diploid, means two end, and these microspore mother cell, after the maturation and the formation of the pollen grains, this cell will undergo into the reduction division and form number of many haploid microspore. Number of many form haploid microspore, and these microspore, and this is the formation of the haploid microspore through the reduction division in microspore mother cell inside the microsporangium. This process is called microsporogenesis. So the microsporogenesis is an event in which microspore mother cell undergoes into the reduction division, form haploid microspore. So now this is the flow chart, but this is the flow chart can be seen, can be studied through the making diagram is here. Okay, so what is the structure of the microsporangium? So now I am showing you in easy way. So dear students, you should also comment on our YouTube channel to motivate us, and you can clear your doubt through your comments. So please like and share and comment on our YouTube channel, by which we can motivate by you, and we can also solve your doubts during the study on this channel. Okay, so what is the structure? So there are the four rounded structure are formed inside the TS of anther, and it is consists of the two basic part. One is found in center. That is called the sporogenous tissues. Okay, sporogenous tissue, because the same type of group of cells form a tissue is called sporogenous tissue. These cells are more reproductive, and the layers of the microsporangium are, first layer of microsporangium is called, I have already told you, epidermis. Is called epidermis. The first layer is called epidermis, which protects and makes the structure organization of the anther, or microsporangium. So this layer is called epidermis, which is consist by parenchymatous cells, which are dumbbell shaped and make single layer, and it is only single layer. And now the next layer of the microsporangium is called endothecium cells, which is called endothecium cell, endothecium layer. And inside the endothecium layer there are many strips are found inside the layer, inside the cells of the layer of endothecium. So this is the second layer of microsporangium, which is called endothecium. Endothecium, and this endothecium has some strips, which is called the strips of cellulose, the strips of cellulose, and generally in nature they are fibrous. This type of fibrous. So due to the presence of the fibrous strips of the cellulose inside the cell of the endothecium, this endothecium is hygroscopic in nature. This endothecium is hygroscopic in nature. Hygroscopic means during this layer can easily absorb the water. So this layer is important to dehiscence of the anther, due to when the losing of water from these cells during the maturation, these cells are only push the pressure inside the anther, and the microsporangium and the anther will be ruptured, and all the pollen grains will be come out from the microsporangium. And the third layer are known as middle layer, which is also parenchymatous, has some nutritive substance inside there. So these are called as middle layers. Which layer? Middle layers. And during the maturation of the pollen grain, these middle layers will be finished and give the nutritive elements to maturating pollen grains. And the last layer is found of the microsporangium wall is called tapetum. It's called tapetum. And tapetum is also known as an important layer which is present inside the microsporangium, and it is layer are of two types in plant. One is called secretory tapetum. And second is called amoeboid tapetum. Secretory secretes some chemicals by which pollen grains is to make sticky and has some essence for the pollination of the pollen grain. Next, amoeboid has a regularity shape, so due to this is the tapetum is called amoeboid tapetum. Now, so tapetum is protect, the function of tapetum to protect the pollen grain, and also provide nutrition, So this is also known as a trophic cells. Which cell? These are known as trophic cells, and we can say nutritive cells. Which cell? Nutritive cell of tapetum. And at last, a same group of diploid cells are formed a tissue. This tissue is called sporogenous tissue, and in this tissue each cell is called microspore mother cell, which are generally diploid, and these cells are undergoing into the reduction division and form 4 haploid microspore. What form? Microspore. And these microspore are generally haploid, like this. This cell will undergo, microspore mother cell will undergo into the reduction division, and it will be form 4 microspores. for microspore. So this is the process is called, I have already told you, microsporogenesis. Okay, so now this is the basic structure of the microsporangium. So you can easily understand after this study. Okay, and if you have any doubts, so you can also comment on our YouTube channel. We will solve the problem. Thank you for watching my channel. Thanks.